Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back. It's been a little while since our last stream, but we're here today for a special preview and developer discussion kind of stream here on the big Age of Empires anniversary update coming very shortly. For those who haven't tuned into a stream before, I'm Grant Wall, one of the Age of Empires community managers here over at Relic Entertainment. And yeah, we are under a week away from the upcoming anniversary update, which is super, super exciting. So we wanted to gather around and chat about some of the different things we have coming in that update. The patch notes actually, or the update notes just went out earlier today as well. You can take a look there. But we're going to be chatting just a little bit broader strokes, and we've got some people joining us as well. The update itself does drop on the 28th there, or 28th, no, 25th, as I can't speak for some reason apparently. And so the big update is on the 25th to celebrate the Age of Empires 25th anniversary as well. And there's a lot of fun coming with that. But before we get started, I guess I should bring out some of our guests here. And so we've got a new face joining us today from World's Edge here. Everyone give a warm welcome to Justin.
Of this year, I'm on the community team for Age of Empires, helping out with social media, copywriting, video editing, all that kinds of stuff. And these days, I'm a Malian main.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today. And as I'm sure chat has also seen, we've got the everyone's favorite Eric Roble here from the Balance team.
Hey, thanks for having me. I am the lead of the balance team, and while balance is our primary focus, because my team is playing the game for hours and hours every day, we're looking at every single piece of the game and trying to improve and make better every issue that we find.
I mean, and you make everything better, right? All the time.
Exactly.
Awesome. So thank you so much for both of you joining today. I know it's a very exciting stream. We've got some really cool stuff coming up with this update. It's been a while, and we've seen this all as it's being developed, and super excited to get there to celebrate. And again, 25 years for the Age of Empires franchise is absolutely insane. Like to think of a title being around that long, to see it still have such a passionate community, and to have Age of Empires 4 as a new title as well for people to play, and this big update we've got coming. Yeah. So, along that note, the most exciting thing is that we do have two new civilizations coming to Age of
Yes, we
Empires 4
do.
here.
Yes, two new civs. That's obviously the thing that most people are most excited about. There's a lot more beyond just that, but yeah, we should probably start with the thing that people are most excited about, which is, of course, the new civs being added to the game, which is the Ottomans and Malians, which is the first new civs to be added to Age of Empires 4.
Yeah, super exciting. And I know a lot of people have had experience with these already in the public update preview that was out. Just a reminder, in the future, if you're interested in checking things out early, there is the PUP. You can go to the Age of Empires website and sign up for that as well. Yeah, so we've got the Ottomans and the Malians both coming. And so along with these two new civs, there's a new set of challenges as well that you get to put your skills to the test with. Yeah, and yeah, they're just super exciting. I know many of you are in chat are excited. Let's see in chat, what's your favorite of these two new civs? What are you looking most forward to, everyone? Just give us a shout out in chat. And yeah, as mentioned, these are all part of the anniversary update coming on October 25th. And the best thing, I know we've said before, but this is a free update. Can't go wrong with free. Always nice. I will, like anything free, you just, sure, sign me up.
My favorite
Yeah.
price, absolutely. Did you want me to do a quick sort of like gameplay breakdown on the two civs and some of the differences that you'll see in game?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Okay, so the Malians, it's sort of talking about their gold gaining. So like the mechanically the way that oh sorry, should I start with the Ottomans?
Go
With the
with whatever you
Ottomans
like. Malians
Okay.
works. Let's go with them.
Yeah, so for the Malians, they had this building, it's called an open pit mine, and they build it on top of the gold mine. So it's kind of like the Mongols building the Uvu, except they can build multiples. So each age they can build more. And not only does that just like generate gold for you, it doesn't take away gold from the gold deposit. So it'll make infinite gold for you. And if that wasn't like sweet enough already, their houses will also contribute to the amount of gold earned. So you can build houses for them around this, and it'll crank up that amount of gold that it's generating. And their houses they're cheaper too. They cost like half amount of wood, and they give half the population. So you can really crank out a big little like mining community around the area to really boost that amount of gold that they're generating. So that's one really cool thing we love about the Valiants. And then the other really standout feature for them is their core unit roster is completely unique. Like all their units are different. So they have, in terms of like a light cavalry, they have their scout is they have a warrior scout instead. So that's their like light cavalry, and so it can like auto heal a little bit, as well as being really good at revealing things. And the upgrade where you can carry the deer carcasses is super good for them because they'll have a bunch of these warrior scouts because they're just like really good at fighting. So their entire core roster all has unique units, which is like super cool and really fun and refreshing. So we love the Malians for those many other reasons, but those two in particular are quite exciting for us.
Awesome. And then, yeah, so let's see. I see chat's having fun with their uwoos. Yes, uwu, uwu. Please, no. Why did I say that?
That's a tough one.
Someone's going to clip that now.
I
always a challenge.
always a challenge every time I see it. All right. Yeah, so definitely exciting to see those coming. Let me just
And then,
see. Yeah,
so we're on the Ottoman slide, so I
yeah, let's
can
go.
cover those real quick for you. So yeah, two really cool things with the Ottomans. So one is that this council system, that's basically what all their unique texts, for the most part, are sort of put into this window, and all of these texts are free. They don't cost any resources, and they research instantly. So that sounds massively overpowered, but don't worry, like we did some balancing. So you get these texts sort of throughout the game over time, slowly, like one at a time, and you earn them just like by producing units, right? So no matter what unit you're producing, villagers, horsemen, siege weapons, and aging up as well, that sort of like contributes experience to this council system. And once you've reached enough council experience, you'll level up, you'll get a point, and then you select one of these free researches. So it's a really cool way to sort of expand, your sort of powered influence over time. And it's also limited to help sort of each game feel a little bit different because you only get to pick 5 of these 9 technologies. So depending on which map you're on or which civ you're playing against, you might be picking different technologies and stuff like that based on the situation that you're in. So that's super cool. And then the other thing is their military schools allow them to produce units for free. And it'll just you get to select what you want. You're like, do I want an archer? Do I want a man at arms? Like whatever you have access to be able to produce, whatever age you're in, you can get those units for free. And so that sounds pretty overpowered too, but don't worry, I got you guys. Balance wise, the building is both pretty expensive and it trains the unit slower than you normally would be training a unit if you were just like to purchase it. So those are sort of like the counterbalances in the system to make up for these free units. But a lot of cool stuff there with the Ottomans, and also I guess that was two. But like third thing, real quick mention, fan favorite, is their new cannon. It's more expensive than a bombard, but it's just like a huge, gigantic cannon. It does AoE damage, so it's just really powerful and fun and awesome to use.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, we had some fun with that in the trailer that came out at Gamescom there as well. Why don't we take a look at that trailer once really quickly? I know you all seen it a bunch, but since we're talking about Malians and Ottomans and building up some hype, we'll jump into that. But also, just before we do, I see in chat a Elbots, an Elliot over there. Familiar face hopping in chat. Thanks for joining us.
Elliot, we miss you.
We miss you, Elliot. One day we'll have to find some way to get you back on here. Don't worry, it'll happen. Uh, but let's take a look really quickly at the trailer from Gamescom here, and we will be right back in just 1 second.
There's more than one way to win a battle, and every empire must find their own path to victory. Whether you strike from afar or ambush up close, the Malians will use wit and strategy to outmaneuver their opponents and gain the advantage on the battlefield. With powerful siege tools and the ability to rally large formations, the Ottomans can keep the pressure on to bring down their enemies' defenses. When the drums of war beat, how will you emerge victorious? History is in the making, and your place in it has just begun.
Oh, there. Sorry. We would be muted. We got to do that all again. The fun of doing this live. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but for me, watching that trailer, there's no way you can't be excited about these two civs. And
both civs very exciting. trailer, very exciting, great music choice. Not everybody loves the smoke on the water, but everyone here loves it. So
Yeah. It it's different. It's different than what you've seen before. It just has that feel though. Like you get so into it. Yeah.
yes.
And so I guess we can move right along and talk about some of the other new stuff coming. Eric, if you'd like to take us away.
Oh, you want to hear about Naval?
I mean, we can hop into Naval. I was going to hop into some of the new maps, but we can.
New maps.
New
Oh,
maps. Yeah. Those
Okay.
things. I mean, I know
Okay.
you're. I know.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
as a note,
Yeah.
Eric is really excited for Naval, and it's been his big thing. He's like Naval. Don't worry, we will get there, Eric. But
All right. We'll talk about the maps first. Yeah, so basically we wanted to, make sure we had a variety of different, styles of maps. So some with naval, yeah.
yeah.
And then, some flat, some open, some a bit more like choke pointy and stuff like that. So I would say, from this list, Mountain Clearing really stands out as offering quite a different experience than players are used to, because this map you're basically surrounded in mountains and forests. So there's just a very small area of the map in which you have to fight. So it's like super aggressive and you're very close to the enemy. So the action starts off fast and furious in this map, and we've had a lot of fun, crazy playtests on this map. We don't have it on we didn't put it in like the ranked ladder rotation or anything like that, because it's just such a different, play style than people are used to. But, we thought it was like a fun option to give people some of the time, but not necessarily like, oh, you're going to want to play this map like every single day. So kind of, a variety of different kind of maps. And then you have wetlands, which is kind of neat because it just has lots of like really tiny ponds all over the place, and each have, fish in there. So your villagers, you're constantly like building mills sort of all over the map. And it can be also hard to defend, right? Because you're making stuff in so many places all over the map. So it ends up being a pretty aggressive, like fast-paced map. Once things sort of get going later on, there's a lot of ways to attack the enemy. So I think there's a lot of cool things with these maps, and I think people are really going to enjoy them.
Awesome.
There's a couple of old school maps in there as well. Maps that should be familiar to Age franchise fans. Longtime Age of Empires franchise fans will be very familiar with both of with the two last maps. Mediterranean is a map that dates all the way back to the Rise of Rome expansion for the original Age of Empires. It features a large central lake with lots of food available, 2 naval trade posts, and 2 sacred sites. It's a map that tends to promote a mix of naval and terrestrial engagements, with water being a valuable resource, obviously, to fight over on that one. The other is Oasis, which is another classic map that this time from Age 2, though, features a dense central forest that surrounds a small lake. And unlike the original, the 2 sacred sites are on the shoreline, and players will definitely want to chop their way to the central oasis to wrestle control of the valuable resources.
Awesome. And so I know, Eric, just as a bit of note here, I know we were going to talk about something else next, but you're so excited about Naval. I think we're just going to jump right to it. You're just like, I see your anticipation here. So just give us a second, and we're going to get this going. Eric's got a bit of a demo he wants to show off. Let me just get this on stream for everyone.
Barely a demo. That's maybe even hyping it up a bit too much.
Barely a demo. All right, here's Eric's barely a demo, everyone. We are good, Eric. So take us away whenever you're ready.
Cool. Yeah. So there were quite a few things we were looking to do with this naval rework in terms of like what we wanted to achieve with players, and sort of like the gameplay patterns you get to experience. So first off is we wanted to have some of the core things we were missing from the land experience, and that's like the foundation of our gameplay is that like rock paper scissors of like trying to outthink, outmaneuver, and counter what the enemy's doing based on like what units he's building. So in order to get that, we needed to have all those pieces available for you guys right at the beginning of the game, right? Like if the only unit, basically with old naval, like the only unit you could build was like rock, right? And it was just like who had the most rocks and that person won, right? So that's like not super, like dynamic or, like super interesting. So we decided to bring all of the sort of core pieces forward. So you can now build a galley or a hulk or a demolition ship right off the get-go. And these are also a much sort of like stronger counter to one another as well. I think players ended up, a lot of times you just like mass hulks because it was like, oh, well, they're kind of just like the best unit and kind of deal with everything, and they like kill docks. So like, why would you just not only mass hulks? So we made these units a lot like stronger and more defined in their role of what they were going to do. So the Hulk, you can still see like it's got the bonus damage against buildings. So that's sort of like its secondary role in addition to doing extra damage against the archer ships. So it's got a big damage bonus against the archer ships. And then the archer ship, it has a really big damage bonus against the incendiary ships. And not only that, but we also changed its attack a little bit. So it actually, instead of just like shooting, the like a line of arrows, it spreads them out a little bit. And then each arrow has a little bit of an AoE on it as well. So it does like a splash. And this allows it to actually be able to kill multiple demolition ships at a time, which is really important because people generally you build like a mass of them, then you just run them all in and explode the army. And when you can only, hit one of them at a time with your galleys, it wasn't really a very good counter to this like swarm of demo ships. So it's kind of part of the reason for that. And then lastly, the demolition ship, it's got a pretty cranked up damage. It does plus 300 against broadside ships. So that applies to the springled ships and then also the warship that you can build in the fourth age. So we got the triangle. It's really solid, and the boats also. We wanted to just like it should feel good and fun to just move the boats around. So you notice that the boats are a bit more like zippy now. Like they both move and turn faster. So it's kind of just a bit like more fun to be building the boats. And then we looked at the economy side of the boats because every boat just cost wood and gold, and so it made the economy kind of flat. Like there wasn't as much intrigue, and you were only managing 2 resources, so it just wasn't quite. It's sort of like lacking some of the strategic depth that we wanted out of the gameplay. So in order to combat that, we're kind of like brainstorming, talking about it, and it was like, well, how come you never use food to build these boats, right? Like these boats have crews, like they're hungry, they need food too, right? So we actually added in a food cost. So now you're paying, food and wood or food, wood and gold for these ships. So there's a lot more interesting dynamics in terms of managing your economy. And it flows really well with the fact that you can build fishing ships that give you food, and then you can actually spend some of that food to build the ships because it was you got a couple of fishing boats, but then you just had so much food and not a lot to do with it. It kind of like didn't make sense. So incorporated not only that element, but stone was kind of a missing piece as well from this gameplay. So we've added this naval arrow slits. So this you pay stone for it, and it puts a defensive arrow out of this with like a very long range because since it's kind of like a bit back and like right on the coast, it needs to have like a really nice range, so it shoots quite far. And it allows a bit more of that sort of core strategic gameplay we have where you're kind of trying to figure out, do I want to like boom up my economy, do I want to build a big military and attack the enemy, or do I want to tech up to the next age? And giving this piece, this naval arrow slits, really helped with choosing a strategy where you were like booming and building more fishing boats, or if you wanted to tech up to the next age, this would protect you to be able to do that. And then now that you're in the next stage, like what do you get, right? Like why was it worth spending, all that huge amount of resources to join the castle age? Well, we've added a whole bunch of techs here. So each boat has its own unique technology that will upgrade it in the castle age. And then we also have this armored hull that just like beefs up all your ships, giving them extra hit points and extra ranged armor. And we also do that for the Imperial Age as well. So you see this armored hull, it's a 1 of 2, so there's a Imperial Age version of that too, where you can crank up its hit points even more, and then you have some even more spicy new Imperial Age technologies that you can research for these ships to give them even more interesting, standout type of attacks and abilities and stuff like that. So we're really happy with how the gameplay has changed and evolved. And well, of course, this is you can play like these maps that are exclusively naval. It also really adds an interesting dynamic to these hybrid type of maps that might just have like a river or a lake as a partial feature, but now there's a lot more interplay, back and forth types of things you can be interacting with the opponent on sort of all types of maps. So I think that covers the vast majority of what we've done with the naval stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's looking really nice. Definitely exciting, and I think people are going to have a lot of fun playing it, and it'll hopefully make people really excited to try out some naval here as well.
Yeah, we've been having so much fun with it. We've been doing a bunch of like internal play tests and like tweaking the numbers. We also, like we had like this general problem where like the boats were so strong they would just kill every land unit. So when we changed like the costs of these things, we made the boats a bit cheaper on resources and then made them like kind of a bit less effective against land units. Like they have a bit less hit points and stuff like that. So you could make a much more substantially sized naval army, which is in general, it's just like a lot more fun having like a big army of stuff. There's more things to micro. There's more like back and forth battles and raiding and stuff like that. So yeah, we're certainly, we wouldn't say that like anything in the game is ever like perfect, but we're just really proud of the steps we've made forward and advancing the gameplay and just making it really fun.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of balance that's gone into this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was your super excited to share with us a little bit of naval barely demo, as you phrased it.
Barely demo, yep.
Barely demo. Awesome. Let me just hop off of this stream. There we go. All right. So we're just going to hop back up to something else we were wanting to talk about, something that all of you are probably very, very excited to hear about is taunts and cheats. So these are something that fans have been looking for a long time. We've heard, seen all the messages being like, we want taunts and cheats. We want taunts and cheats. Yes, they are 100% part of the franchise, and they are something that people have come to know and love in basically every Age of Empires game that's out there. Yeah, it's definitely an often requested fan favorite. And some of the players, again, this is the public update preview that you have the option to take part in if you sign up on the Age of Empires website. It's currently done, but they do spin up from time to time, and a bunch of people did get a chance to check out all of this content, including taunts and cheats, and we heard just amazing feedback from our players on it. Definitely doing things a little different in how it's presented in the client, but it's really cool. So they can be used in both lobby or in-game chat for taunts. There are more than 100 of them, and we've got a lot of different types of taunts going on here. We've got some stuff that are like witty banter, and I'm just going to toss some of these. Just give me 1 second to see where this is happening here. I'm going to toss some of these on the stream. I've got some just little recordings of clicking around and playing with them, just so you can hear some of what we've got.
Not all 100 of them, but
this is true. I am not playing all 100.
All hail, King of the Losers!
Hey, I'm in your town.
Start the game already!
Sure, blame it on your ISP.
Yeah, so those are some of the like more witty banter we've got. We've got some more important communications as well that you'll probably find yourself using
Yes.
a fair bit in game as well.
No.
Simple yes, no.
Are you still there?
GG, no re. GG, re?
Let's go for a conquest victory.
And I mean the ever classic that everyone's grown to love.
Wololo.
Everyone's wololo. These are, and so as you see here, this is actually in the client. There's a way to actually preview all of these. You can listen to them. It tells you the number there, so you know what you're using. Super, super cool. You'll be able to unlock actually more in the future as well. And just so people are aware, these are an assortment of some of our fellow Relicans here. These are just people who are interested. We went into the studio. We had our sound team work with us to get these all recorded, and you'll hear some familiar voices in there. I'm in a few of them. I think there's a lot of different people from around the studio, so definitely play through them, give them a listen, and enjoy them. They were a lot of fun, and the team spent a lot of time figuring out which ones to add and where they want to go in the future too.
Did you demo any of the ones that you've done for us?
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
I did not. People will have to go find them themselves when it's out there. It's one of those things. You don't
Okay.
like hearing yourself, so I don't want to play my own. You guys can go find it.
Oh, you're embarrassed. Okay, yeah.
But it was a lot of fun going in, getting to do that all, and I mean, it's a cool thing to say your voice is in the game.
Yeah,
But
it's fun. Just like I'm playing the game, and then I hear the taunt, and I'm like, wait, where's Christina? I hear her voice, but I I don't see her.
yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
like someone else has done the taunt to you, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and so the other sides of taunts and cheats would be cheats. So we've shown some of these already in blog posts or on social. They are very cool. They're You can choose to enable them in the lobby of a custom match when you make it. Same thing, open in-game chat, and you just enter whatever the secret code is. There's a few that I've got that people can get started with. I'm just going to go through and just show off really quickly. So let me just make sure these are going to queue up right. The fun of this. So there's Big Bad Sheep. Let's see if this plays. There we go. So you open up chat, type in Big Bad Sheep, and what do you know? All the sheep are wolves.
It's a fun one.
There is One of Us, which, again, same thing. Open up chat. You've got some enemies coming. One of Us. All of a sudden, they're converted. Probably one of my favorite is This is fine, because nowadays everything is, the response is just, this is fine. And yeah, I don't know what more you would expect other than everything being on fire. There are a lot more of these. I'll just do one more, but there's going to be a bunch, and there is an FAQ on the page as well. If you look at the patch notes that went out today, that takes you to FAQ taunts and cheats. To tell you a little bit more of that, but this smorgasbord board, you just get 100,000 of all resources. There are other ones that do things like reveal or hide the map, reveal fog of war. There's even some fun ones that do like a bullet time slow-mo or different things like that as well. So there's definitely, I mean, taunts and cheats, both of them are super, super exciting, and people, I think you'll have a lot of fun checking them out. Yeah, and there are more than 100 different taunts as well, so you can go through, play them as much as you want, just go click that button, listen to any of them as many times as you want, have some fun. But yeah, they work taunts work in either lobby or in game, and then cheats you have to enable before you start a custom match, and you can use those in game as well. No, there are not 100 cheats. There are over 100 taunts. Number of cheats, don't actually recall off the top of my head, but there are still quite a few of them.
It's like 10-ish, something like that. It's more than a few. More than a few.
Yeah. We still have a little bit more to go over. I think, Eric, you mentioned you might have to hop off very soon. So if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to. We can have you say goodbye, or you can stick around if you really want to just hang out with everyone. But I know those meetings, they come up.
Yeah, I definitely do need to take off here pretty soon. But I saw there was a couple like user questions that got posted here.
Okay. We'll let you answer if
answers?
there's anything you'd like there, and then afterwards, Justin and I will continue along the rest of the way.
Okay, cool. So someone said they're talking about the unique civ traits rebalance for the Navy. So it was basically like so much work to do this naval pass and do two new like this was like a very ambitious update for us. So we have made like some tweaks and smaller adjustments to some of the unique text and stuff like that for naval, but I think that's definitely an area in the future we want to spend a bit more time focusing on and making improvements. So like in general, we just love to get your guys' feedback on how the Navy experience is, and what are the parts that you love about it, and what are the parts that still need a little bit of tweaking and tuning. And then there's another question about, do we plan to add skins someday? So one of the important things for adding skins is it's awesome because it's letting you customize your army, your units, and like show off and be unique, so that you look different than another player who's also playing the same English or French or whatever civilization you're playing. So it's definitely something we wouldn't rule out, but we want to make sure that the units are still like legible and clear and readable, because you don't want to get like attacked by an enemy army and not know like, oh, what are these units? I've never seen this before. So it's something we would want to do with like a lot of intention and really like think about the different design implications and like how far we're willing to go with a skin, like how different will it look than the core unit, and how can you still identify this as like this is a knight and this is a musketeer, and I can still tell that for those units. So I think that's all I have time for, but thank you so much for having me on. I love doing this, and I'm hoping that you guys will invite me back for a future session.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Eric, for joining us. We'll let you get off to that meeting, and Jess and I are going to just stick around and wrap things up over here. So everyone's
You guys are heroes.
everyone watching,
Thanks so
stay
much.
tuned. Please don't just leave because Eric's leaving.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Eric. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you, Eric, for joining us.
Yes, yeah. Super awesome to have him talk to us.
Awesome. All right. Now, hopefully, all of you watching, you just don't leave immediately now without Eric down there in the bottom left corner. I know his face, and he's just so excited there. But don't worry, you've got Justin and myself right now today. Take you the rest of the way here. Yeah. So, one of the other things we have coming, I know this is something people have asked for, and there's been a lot of work done on it, is waypoint markers. So,
Yes.
yeah, there's been a fair bit of work, and we've made some changes, and so there are now gold waypoint markers indicate movement, which is fairly straightforward, but there's also now additional, so blue will indicate actions, and then red indicate attack or patrol. You can also now shift click multiple waypoints in a row, and you'll see all of them in a chain, so you can kind of see what your unit's going to follow there as well. So definitely this is one of those things that might not seem the biggest, like I'm just showing you some quick pictures here, but when you feel it in game, when you start using it, it hopefully will feel much more what you're looking for. You'll be able to know what's going on. You'll be able to see kind of the chain of attack, see what's going on, what you've got queued up in your pathing there with the waypoints there.
It was one of those things that made when the pup ended, it made it difficult going back to the regular build, to the live build, because it's one of those things you don't really think about, but when you don't have it, it's like, oh gosh, I realize now how awesome this is. So yeah, really glad that it's in the new build.
Yeah.
And then also coming up in the new build, because it is literally jammed to the gills with stuff. We also have ranked team matches, which are going to be making their debut with this update, which means players will be able to queue up for 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4 ranked matches. And of course, Season 3 will bring new badges and some exclusive rewards for team gameplay as well. I know, obviously, not everybody has been asking for that, but the people that have been asking for this feature have been very vocal. So I'm sure they're going to be really happy to have that. And actually, someone in chat just a little while ago, I think it's already scrolled past it, and in fact, I think the person left.
They left with Eric going. They're like, Eric's gone.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
probably. But someone brought up hotkeys, shortcuts, remappable keys, all of that kind of stuff. That is also getting improved, updated, fixed, etc. Thanks to the valuable feedback from the community. So in this update, there will be improvements to the shift queuing system, refinements to building shortcuts, and all kinds of things like that. Again, another kind of quality of life. It doesn't really seem like a huge change on the surface, but it's one of those things that'll just really make your day-to-day gameplay of the game much better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one of the things is there's a lot in this update, and the update notes are live. So after the stream, highly recommend if you're interested going to the Age of Empires website, just ageofempires.com, taking a read through, seeing what's coming your way. There's way more than we could cover on the stream here. We go into so much detail with these notes. You can read specific balance changes. You can thank Eric for all of those later, I'm sure. You can read all these new features, taunts, cheats, ranked team matches, all these updates we have coming your way as well. There's just so many improvements, whether that's AI, map updates, and all of that. Yeah, and as Justin said, one of the things is when we do these updates, we very often use the PUP, the Public Update Preview program, on the Age of Empires website. You can go in and register for that, take part of it. And it's basically, you help us test these features, you give your feedback before it's live, and a lot of people, probably a bunch of you on the stream here as well, are part of that program. And you've probably seen some of this content, and from the feedback, from what we test there, everything kind of comes together. We make refinements, we make changes, and that's what comes out here when we actually put out these updates. So the Public Update Preview is a great way for you to give your feedback on the game, to see what's coming out, and to help shape the game as well.
Yeah, it's crucial, and it's a great way to test things out. get a feel for where the game is headed as well. If you're a competitive type of player, it's especially important, I would say, just to get as much of a preview as you can. So yeah, it's a great place to not just learn about the game, but to help the game grow as well. Give us feedback. So thank you to everybody that's already been a part of it, and thank you in advance to everyone who's going to be a part of it later on.
Definitely. And yeah, as mentioned, there is a lot in this update, a lot in this free update that arrives on October 25th, less than a week away. Crazy how quick that's coming up, and it's super exciting. And I am sure y'all gonna love getting your hands on the update, checking this out, play around with taunts, cheats, go find some voice lines. Maybe you'll find mine in there somewhere. Who knows? If you do, come next stream and just type the number in chat. Just curious. But yeah, there's a lot of content. Go take a look at the update notes there. And yeah, I mean, 25 years for Age of Empires as a franchise. Absolutely stunning. Like, amazing to think that this is a franchise that's been around that long, and it continues to go very strongly thanks to all of you here, to everyone who's helping to shape these games.
Yeah, and there's more even as well in the Age 4 update that we didn't even have time to cover today. Balance changes, AI improvements as well. If you like playing against the AI, I sure like playing against the AI. Huge improvements there as well too. So again, go look at the notes, scan through it. There's pretty much guaranteed to be something for everybody in there.
Exactly. And yeah, there is also on October 25th, there is the Age of Empires 25th anniversary stream as well. So you can take a look at that and see some additional exciting things for the franchise there. No spoilers, just tune in. It'll be worth it, everyone.
No, we're not spoiling anything. You guys aren't going to trick us into saying something or anything like that. But yeah, we're obviously very excited. We're tuning in. We hope everyone else is tuning in. It's a very special occasion, obviously, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah. And we're probably getting very close to the end of the show, but there's one other thing I want to talk about. It's not necessarily related directly to this update or the anniversary here, but it's a very cool thing just around the corner. I'm sure some of you have heard the Red Bull Wololo Legacy here coming up on the 21st. So that is almost upon us. Actually, I think that is in Germany time over there at Heidelberg as well. So that's basically happening just around the corner. You're going to kick off. So this is the Red Bulls big tournament for Age of Empires. This is the Wololo Legacy, the 6th tournament in the series. It brings some of the top players from Age of Empires to one of the coolest locations. I mean, playing in a castle, playing in Heidelberg Castle in Germany is absolutely amazing. So the event itself runs, as you see here, from the 21st through the 30th of October. The Age 4 portion itself kicks off on the 26th, with semifinals and finals taking place on the 30th. Definitely head over to the Age of Empires website. Go to the Red Bull. We should have a link there. If not, you can go take a look at the Red Bull Wololo Legacy page as well for more details. Definitely something you'll want to watch online. Or I know there were some tickets. I know they went really quick, but if you're in the area and you did have a ticket, you can go watch in person as well at the castle there. And if anyone is there, I will be attending as well. So if you see me, say hi.
I will not be there, so don't look for me.
Or look for him. Have fun. Just be like, yeah, I'm there. Don't worry. Find me. Never show up. But yes, there we go. In chat, someone dropped a link to the Red Bull Wololo Legacy there. You can find more information about that as well. It's going to be super, super exciting. I'm sure it's going to be some intense matches there watching people. Yes. And I mean, playing a massive tournament with crazy prize money in a castle, I mean, nothing goes crazier than, like, that's so much fun. Yeah.
No, yeah. It's going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to it. Even I think casual players even can really enjoy Age of Empires esports. So yeah, even if you've never checked out Age of Empires esports, this is the event to tune in for, because it's going to be sick.
100%. This is, like, production value is off the charts. I mean, you're playing in a castle. You've got some of the best players out there. There's gonna be some amazing moments, I am sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that actually brings us towards the end of the show here. So we've covered a lot of the stuff coming in this anniversary update here for Age of Empires, celebrating 25 years as a franchise. This update drops on October 25th for free. There is also the Age of Empires anniversary stream taking place on the 25th. You should also tune into. And then there is also Red Bull Wololo Legacy here coming up as well from the October 21st through 30th. So there's a lot of stuff. And again, if you tune into that stream on the 25th, there'll probably be even more. So it's super exciting. There's a lot of stuff for the franchise. It's awesome to see Age of Empires getting this much love, to see it being like it's so amazing to see like these huge tournaments, these huge updates, free content, and seeing all of the feedback from players of the game where it's at right now is amazing. Like seriously, that latest pup, some of the feedback we got, it's just amazing hearing from players, seeing where the game's going and where it's going to continue to go from here.
Yeah. It's in a fantastic spot. The balance, which we can't tell Eric this, but the balance is in a great spot, especially. And yeah, it's great, and it's a fantastic month, as you said. It's a big month for the entire franchise as well, not just for Age of Empires 4, but for the entire franchise. And hopefully that's all going to come to a head. It's 10 a.m. Pacific time, I believe, for the live stream on the 25th. So that's 1 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. in UK, 7 p.m. Central European time, I believe.
Yeah, definitely super exciting. Tune in, and there'll be a lot of exciting stuff there. And if you haven't, as we mentioned, as soon as the stream's over in just a second here, feel free to go to the Age of Empires website and take a look at the update notes, take a look at some of the other anniversary stuff. A lot of stuff coming your way very soon, and we were just happy to kind of get together, show off some of this, chat with all of you on stream, and bring Eric here as we love to do as well. Yeah, so super exciting stuff. Again, October 25th, day to look forward to for everyone here.
Yeah, big time. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Awesome. So on that note, I think that takes us to the end of the show. So I want to say a huge thank you so much to everyone here for joining us. Thank you to Eric, who has joined and left, and he's not around, and hopefully people stuck around, because all of you who are here as well, thank you so much. And Justin, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. I know it's your first time on stream. Hopefully chat, myself and Eric, none of us scared you away. I'm hoping you'll be back in the future.
No, yeah, lots of fun. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I'd be happy to be back.
Awesome. I also hear taunt us out from chat. I'll go through taunts one more time and we'll wrap it up. just because you asked so nicely.
All hail, King of the Losers!
Hey, I'm in your town.
Start the game already!
Sure, blame it on your ISP.
Yes. No.
Are you still there?
GG, no re. GG, re?
Let's go for a conquest victory.
And the one last one. And it's just great hearing these, because like a lot of the Todds here are people I know in the studio, and it's funny hearing their voice. It's like, wait a second, I know who you are.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, definitely this is one of the exciting things you'll have to look forward to coming very soon. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you as we celebrate on the 25th and as the update comes out. So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. All right, bye, everyone. See you next time.